Welcome to video 2. I'm going to show you how I made this very simple, very short little animation using 2 Lego figures, and then you can get started making your own. On the left, the big picture is going to show the Stop Motion Studio app. On the right is a little picture of what I was doing on the tabletop while I was making the animation. So you'll be able to see my hands moving the pieces about. And between these 2 images, you should be able to get a sense of how you can get started yourselves. Okay, so we're going to launch the Stop Motion Studio app. And you get this window of projects. Now, at first you'll just have this big fish project, which comes with the app. It's a great introduction. I've got some other projects I've made before, but for now I'm going to tap on the big plus and choose New Movie. Now, it usually starts with a hint of the day, which is quite useful to read, and then press Dismiss at the bottom. The very first time you launch the app, it will ask for permission to use the camera, so give it that permission and then you should see what the camera can see. Now, as we talked about in video 1, I've taped out the edges of the space where the camera can't see, so that we can tell when something's in the picture and when something's out of the picture, or in and out of shot. The most important button is the big red button on the right in the middle. When you tap that, it takes a photo, and that appears in the middle down below. Maybe the second most useful button is the question mark or help button. It labels all the controls so you can see where everything is. Tap it again to turn that off. So we're going to start making our movie. I've got my Lego figure off to the left, and I'm going to start by taking a few photos of the empty table. This is a bit like the empty stage in a theatre. Taking a few photos without anything happening lets the people watching the videos see what the scene is before the action starts. When you make your movies, you could put a drawing or other objects behind to help set the scene and show people where your story is happening. It's also fine, of course, to just have an empty background if you prefer that. Now I'm going to start to move the Lego figure, just a little bit, and then press the red button to take a photo. Move him a little more, take another photo. Depending on where your light is, you might see the shadow before you see the figure. There's the shadow just coming into the edge on the left. So, as he moves, I'm going to give him a little twist each time, so he walks with a bit of a wiggle. And I'm using the saw that the Lego character is carrying to stop him from falling over. But you could also use something like blue tack to stick his feet down. Or, if you've got a piece of the base Lego like this, you could use that as a floor for your characters to walk on, which will help keep them upright. Now, oops, I didn't want these photos of the Lego base to be in my movie, so I'll show you how to delete any unwanted photos that you've taken. Each individual photo is called a frame. If you tap on a frame, you'll get a menu up like this, with lots of options. The one we're interested in is the dustbin, or delete. That takes away the frame, and you can select the next one and delete that, and so on until you've got rid of all the unwanted images. Now you can do this as you go, or you can go back and do it later after you've finished your movie. So I've taken away all the frames that have my hand and the Lego base in them, and now we can carry on moving the figure a little bit, taking a photo, moving a little bit more, and taking another photo. Now you'll see that when I move the figure, there's a sort of ghost image being left behind. This is called the onion skin, which is a strange name, but I'll explain it more in video 3. But when it's turned on, it lets you see a sort of half image of the last photo that you took, and that's really useful so you can see where your figure was and how far it's moved in this new photo. This is controlled by the slider on the left-hand side of the screen here. When the white dot's exactly in the middle, you're going to be looking at just the last photo that you took and nothing else. When it's all the way to the top, you're looking at what the camera's seeing now and nothing else. When it's between the top and the middle, you're looking at a mixture. And that's what I've got set up just now. It's a really useful feature. If, for example, your figure falls over, you can stand them back up and put them back almost exactly where they were. Or if you have to take a break or tidy things away, you can come back and start again from as close as possible to where you left off. Now my Lego figure is almost in the centre, I'm just standing him still and gradually moving his arm with the saw a little bit each time so that the saw will lift in the air. Now you can move in as small amounts or as large amounts as you like, but the smaller the amount you move each time, the smoother the animation will look. You can play around with using different amounts of movement each time and see what you prefer when you look at your finished movie. Now that my character's lifted his saw up, we're going to bring in the other character from the side and see what happens when they meet. As you start to bring in the other character, don't forget to keep the first character moving, just a little bit, even if it's just turning on the spot, because otherwise they seem to freeze and lose all the animation that makes the effect so nice. So, here I'm just moving the first character a little, and then moving the second character a little, and then taking the photo. First character, second character, photo. When you've got more than one or two things happening in your story, it can be a lot to keep track of, so just remember to touch everything once before you take a photo, so that all the different moving things have moved a little bit each time. I'm deliberately making a very simple animation to get us started. Once you get the hang of the app, then you can start to try out other things and tell your own stories. What toys might you like to bring to life? Or are there things in the kitchen or bits of food that might be fun to play with? Remember the cucumber animation at the end of video 1? This was me and my daughter just messing around in the kitchen one day, and we decided that this would be a fun thing to do with a bit of cucumber and a chopping board. Now that our characters are face to face, I'm going to make a pause in the action, just by taking several photos of the same moment without changing anything. After the pause, I've decided that rather than running away, they're going to be old friends. So they're going to lift their arms up and go in for a hug. And of course, you can decide what your ending might be, but it's always fun to have a twist in the tale. It's great to have a story in mind that you'd like to tell through stop motion, but you don't always have to. Especially when you're just getting started, it's easy and fun to just find some interesting things to animate, begin moving them around, and let ideas happen right in the middle of making the movie. When we were making the cucumber animation, my daughter had the idea to use bread and make the ghost which appears at the end. We hadn't planned that at the start. So, if you've a great story in mind, wonderful. But if not, don't worry, just start animating with something and see if any ideas happen while you're making the movie. When you're done, here's how to play back and look at what you've made. Press the play button just under the big red button to play back your movie. It'll play in a loop over and over again so you can see what you've made. In video 3, we'll look a bit deeper at some of the other features of the app, and we'll look at how to add sound, make titles, and share your movies with other people.